On Holy Ground, my new book. Hi, I'm Dr. James Holt, and in a couple of weeks, my new book, On Holy Ground, Interfaith Encounters in the Restored Gospel of Jesus Christ, is published by Cedar Fort, and I'm so excited that it's available for pre-order now. This is a book that draws together all aspects of my life, if you like. So I've spent the last 30 years studying, teaching, writing about different religions of the world, and I'm often asked how I, as a believer myself, can engage with people, not just people, but also learning about other faiths and teaching about other faiths. In fact, when I was going away to university, someone asked my mum, she said, "We're worried about Jimmy. We're worried that he's going to lose his faith." And actually, I don't mean that's what this book is about, but 30 years later, my understanding of who I am and where I stand and my place in the world is so much stronger. And so that's what this book is actually about. The idea of being on holy ground, that when I am in dialogue with someone else, with something else, that the space between us is holy ground. It's a place where we encounter, when we learn more about the other and what another person believes. But it's also where we learn about ourselves and what we believe and where we stand. And throughout the course of this book, I kind of reflect on that and why it's important to learn from others. But I reflect also on 8 different religious traditions. I reflect on Baha'i, Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, Islam, Judaism, Rastafari, and Sikhi as examples. And I explain briefly kind of my experience with people from that religious tradition, or my learning or my studies about that particular religion, and then what have I learned about myself? What is it that kind of has taught me more about who James is and where James stands? What is it? And so, for example, within the Sikh chapter, I explore just the wonderful Sikh people that I have met. And also, I explore things like Seva, which is the idea of selfless service. And I look at that and I think, how can I apply that in my life as a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? And then, for example, I look at Islam and I look at jihad as an example, and the greater jihad, which is the struggle within oneself to overcome one's natural inclinations, if you like, and live a life in submission to God. And it's not just limited to what might be considered those religious aspects. And so On Holy Ground does all of those things. It's a bit of a personal narrative, but it's also my personal experiences with the different religions of the world. And there's so much learning that I have undertaken, that I have benefited from, and so many people that I have been blessed to know, that fitting it into this book was problem enough, but it's there and I'd love you to read it.